Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here back for my week 15 picks and predictions. Last week we had another decent week. We went 7-5 so far on the week, so we're hoping to get to 8-5 after this Bengals and Cowboys game here on Monday Night Football. We are 137-71 on the season, which brings us to a 66% win rate on the season, so we're not too mad about that whatsoever. And this is going to be an interesting week. There's obviously no more bye weeks now, and this is a slate full of really good matchups. The first matchup I want to talk about here is the Bills at the Lions, probably the game of the week. To me, obviously the Lions, they really want to win this game because they're leading the NFC right now, but the Eagles are only one game behind, so they have to watch their backs a little bit. But I like the Lions in this matchup. This is their third game in a row at home, so I think that that's a huge factor. The Bills were in LA, so they're coming back from Los Angeles after they played the Rams. And I know that the Lions, they do have a lot of injuries. They're banged up, especially on that defensive line, but they've continued to still be a physical team. I still think that they're a more physical team than the Bills. I also think that the Lions are a more dynamic team. So this is going to be a great test for both teams, but you have to watch out for Josh Allen because he's been playing incredible football. The next one here is the Packers at the Seahawks. I really like the Packers in this one. This is another team that has rest on an opponent. The Packers have 3 days rest on the Seahawks. They play on Thursday Night Football. And then, of course, just the quarterback-coach combo. I like Matt LaFleur and Love more than I do Geno and Mike McDonald. The Seahawks, to me, have been a little bit baffling this season. I think that they've been a little bit hot because they've played the Arizona Cardinals well. They kind of have their number. But I think a big part of the Seattle Seahawks' success is their run defense, and I think that they might struggle a little bit with Josh Jacobs and this Packers offense. So I like the Packers in that one. I know it's in Seattle, which can be a tough place to play, but give me the Packers. And also the Seahawks, they got blown out by the Lions earlier this season, which is another NFC North opponent, and the Seahawks now have a lot of NFC North opponents to face here. Now we go to the third game here that I want to talk about, the Thursday night game, the Rams at the 49ers. My confidence level for this game is kind of low. I think that this is anybody's game. It's Thursday night, divisional. Both teams really want this game. I know that the 49ers, they're really injured, and the 49ers are in last place in the NFC West right now, but they're only 2 games behind, so if they can win out, they still have a chance. But I'm kind of leaning Rams here. The 49ers injuries to me kind of stack up a lot. McCaffrey's out, and then their backup running back Mason's out. We saw them have a good running game though last week, which is interesting. But to me, just ultimately the Rams have more playmakers. I kind of thought that win versus Buffalo was really impressive, and it just seems like the Rams are getting hot at kind of the right time in the season. This one is in San Francisco. I don't really think that that's a great home field advantage in San Francisco, so give me the Rams. I think that one could be close though, really anybody's game, but give me the Rams. Now let's get into the Dolphins at the Texans, which is another fantastic matchup this week. I really wanted to go Texans. It's in Houston, and the Houston Texans are also coming off of a bye, which is a huge deal. But I'm just going to go with the Dolphins here just because I think that their desperation, they really need to win this game. They pretty much need to win out at this point because, obviously Tua was injured for a lot of the season. They lost some games there, and the AFC is just really competitive. So they need to win as many games as they can here. This is going to be a really tough challenge for them, but I just like the way that the Dolphins have been playing. I kind of trust them more here to make probably less mistakes, make more plays on offense as well. The Texans have been a little bit cold. I think that Stroud is going through a little bit of a sophomore slump. So give me the Dolphins in that one. I like Mike McDaniel as a head coach probably more in that game as well, but that one is really close. Then you have the Steelers at the Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles in that one. It's at home for the Eagles. Both teams are really good. I think that both of these teams have a case to win it all this season, but the Steelers' slate of games has been brutal. They're coming off of playing 4 divisional games in a row, so I think that that's a really tough stretch. And both of these defenses have been really good this season, so I think that this is probably going to be kind of a low-scoring game. But ultimately, I think Saquon Barkley kind of becomes the X factor in this game. And then even quarterback wise, I think that Russell Wilson might take a step down against this really, really good Eagles defense. I just think the Eagles are more prepared for this moment, so I like the Eagles in that one, especially in Philadelphia. Then you have the games of the week that I think that could potentially be upsets. I think the Bengals at Titans could be one. The Bengals, I don't think that they're fighting for much at this point in the season. The Titans have a pretty decent defense, and Tennessee can be a tough place to play. Then you have the Commanders at the Saints. The Saints, Derek Carr, you saw him get injured last week, but I still think that this is kind of the moment that they're fighting for their season here. This is kind of it for the Saints. If they lose this, their season is really, really over. So I think they're still going to be fighting in this game quite a bit. The Commanders have also been kind of a team that's been a little bit inconsistent, and New Orleans is a tough place to play. So I think that has upset potential as well. Then you have the Cowboys at the Panthers. The Panthers have just been on the up and up. They're trending up. The Cowboys, I just don't think that they're fighting for much at this point in the season. I just like the way that Bryce Young has been playing. I like the way that this Chubb Hubbard has been playing. I like the way that the defense has been playing. So I think that there's a lot to look forward to with the Panthers. Then you have the Falcons at the Raiders. I think that the Falcons have just been trending down quite a lot. I think that they realize that their season is coming to an end, and the Raiders have been a team that plays teams competitively, so I like them to win that game potentially in an upset. Let's go to my locks of the week, the first one being the Ravens at the Giants. I really just don't see how the Giants are going to have much offensive production in this game. I know the Ravens defense hasn't been great this season, but the Giants offense has been pretty terrible. Even in that game last week versus the Saints, they really only started scoring points later in the game. And the Ravens, to me, they have so much on offense. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. I just think there's way too much to contain. I know that the number to cover on this game is going to be crazy, but, you saw a guy last week put $3.3 million on the Eagles to beat the Panthers. I like this one just as much as that one, if not more. Then you have the Vikings beating the Bears. I really like this one. It's going to be in Minnesota. The Bears just look like a complete dumpster fire. After what I saw last week versus the 49ers, I'm just completely baffled on them. And the Vikings are a really, really good team. I just don't see them losing this game, especially at home. They have so many playmakers. Their defense has been good, so I'll take the Vikings there. Then you have the Cardinals over the Patriots in Arizona. I think that this one is a lock as well. The Cardinals, they're probably not in love with where they're at this point in the season, but they need to get all the wins that they can get. And I think that this is a good opportunity for them at home. Second week in a row at home for them, and they're still not completely out of it because they have a very competitive and close division in the NFC West. Then you have the Chargers over the Bucs. I really like the Chargers in this one. The Chargers, they have a fantastic defense. I like the way Baker's played this season, but I think he's going to have a tough time against this Chargers defense. And the Chargers, they kind of showed some life versus the Chiefs on offense. I kind of liked the way, the direction it was kind of going. I saw some strides in terms of some players on offense for the Chargers, like Stone Smart and some other of the Chargers receivers. So I thought that was a good sign. I think that the Chargers are a really well-coached team with Harbaugh. I don't expect them to lose that game. That's a game that they need. So give me the Chargers to win that. I know the Bucs really, really need that game as well, but I just think the Chargers top to bottom are the better team. Key in that game is probably going to be the run game because the Buccaneers have really, really talented running backs. I think they need to use those running backs to potentially win that game instead of Baker Mayfield throwing the ball. But who knows? I think the Chargers do win that game, though, because I think just top to bottom, they're the better team at home. Give me the Chargers all day. So those are my picks. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back next week for more picks, and I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.